property. The break was about 10 to 12 feet underneath our sidewalk in our yard. Once dug, the Buckner Water Department came out and hydrojetted the line to clear all the debris. The water department employee reassured us multiple times they successfully hydrojetted the line with 900 gallons of pressurized water and witnessed clear water running in the main. They gave the contractor the thumbs up. The line was clear and to cover up the repair. We, the homeowners, paid that bill of $8,395. We resumed using our water. 2 weeks later, the sewer line backed up again. We had a plumber come out to come see and scope the line. The line was clear until he reached beyond the repair and became stuck and unable to move further towards the main. Because the city assured the line was hydrojetted clear all the way to the main, that is across the street, the only conclusion the experts came up with that there was another break in the line. This initiated another excavation that included tearing up the street and partially blocking the residential street, only to find there was no break. They found a several foot long section of the line under the street packed full of dirt, clay, and debris. The debris and earth came from the first and only break in the pipe. If it has been successfully and correctly hydrojetted, as the city confirmed, the second repair, resulting in an $8,945 bill, would not have resulted. The city hydrojetted the line again and began packing up the equipment. The contractor noticed the pipe wasn't cleared and told them to come back and hydrojet for a longer period of time. To confirm in the manhole that the water is flowing clear and into the main. During this time, which added up to 20 days, we were unable to use our water or toilets in our home. Daily, we went to our families' homes to do basic hygiene, eat, do dishes, laundry, use the toilets, and shower. We have been billed a total of $17,340 for these repairs. The second repair bill was unnecessary as the line was not broken. If the hydrojetting performed by the Buckner Water Department was done correctly during the first repair, the road would also not have been needed to be excavated. We contacted the city administrator, who said it's not the city's responsibility. However, the city became liable when the city water department employees hydrojetted the line. So we're here hoping the city council can assist us with an equitable resolution after this month of suffering and financial hardship.
It's being asserted that we have liability.
As I understand the fact scenario, I think this one falls under that age-old category of no good deed goes unpunished. Because as I understand it, the city was just trying to do a favor to this contractor, the hydrojet line. It was a private service line. It was not a city main. There was no plug on the city's main line, but the contractor was known to the city. Contractor didn't have hydrojet ability, so the city went out and hydrojetted just to try and help. I've not heard anything where any of the actual contractors identified that there was anything deficient done by the hydrojetting, that the city did anything wrong with the hydrojetting, or that the first break wasn't because of the second break didn't come after the first break. There's just nothing to connect any of that. But most importantly, just because the city tries to help out a citizen does not mean that we become responsible for anything and everything that happens before or after. And so, of course, I would always encourage the city, well, don't try to help out a citizen then. If you're going to come back and try to claim I'm responsible, the city's responsible now for everything, then don't try to help. But this truly, in my opinion, is nothing but no good deed goes unpunished. And so, no, there is no liability that I can see. Mr. Bobadella brought it to our attention. We researched, and simply because the city touched it, tried to help, does not make a clog on a service line our responsibility. So that's what I found out.
Is that kind of our general policy, or are we going to change that, or?
Well, it's always been a policy, we do not clean out private service lines.
Okay.
So
the city employees.
Well, so he got written up and got reprimanded for it.
Well, that doesn't help us at all. I mean, if he doesn't know how to do it or he shouldn't have done it, he shouldn't have been out there. He shouldn't have touched it. He should have said no and then we would have gotten maybe somebody more reputable who wouldn't have cost us $8,900 more dollars. It's just, that's insane.
How did Wilson get involved in the first place?
The contractor called him, you know, contractor called him out.
Yeah, I guess, I wasn't here, but Alec called him, and, he wanted to help Alec out, because Alec was a contractor.
Who was the contractor? Alex Holmberg.
Yeah.
But Wilson was aware that he should have.
Who hired him?
Is now.
The homeowners did.
Wilson
Right.
didn't know that he wasn't supposed to touch it? Is that, I'm kinda.
I mean, I don't know, yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm in the ball camp of helping the citizens out, of course. Yeah, but we need to really
Thank
look
you.
into that and make sure we get that tightened up, because
Well, he
this shouldn't happen.
No, yeah, he knew better. He just
Said he
was out there.
did.
So like I said, he's been written up, and all public school knows now, that's why we don't do private service lines.
But let's be clear, the way I understand the scenario, whether Wilson touched it or not, did not impact that there was a further clog in the line that had nothing to do with the jetting. I mean, so the idea of going out there and trying to help, okay, maybe we shouldn't do that, trying to help a citizen, that's your all's decision, but one domino does not make the other one fall.
Correct.
So, I mean, yes, I guess we shouldn't try to help, and probably shouldn't, but that doesn't automatically mean, wait a minute, there's any connection between the second event from the first.
Well, the clog was past the first issue. It was past the first issue, and he said it was clear all the way to the main, which is on the other side of the road. He saw clear water going through. So in a span of a couple weeks, it doesn't clog up to a couple feet of pipe. And there shouldn't be dirt in there anyway. That came from obviously the break. There shouldn't be any dirt, there shouldn't be any clay in your pipe. We don't flush clay down our pipe, or dirt.
And as I initially stated too, on the second repair, we would have had the same problem the third time, because he was down there for just a short amount of time and didn't check if there was any flowing water to the main, so then they rolled it back up and then it came back down and the pipe. was
Did
blocked.
Mr. Jones charge you anything?
Oh, I don't know, that's to my contractor.
I don't believe the city received any compensation for any of that.
Okay.
So the person you hired didn't have a jetter?
Huh?
The person you hired did not have a jetter?
I don't believe so, 'cause the city.
No, he subcontracted out to Wilson.
City can't.
I would assume that he got paid, and I don't think he paid, I mean, the city didn't receive any payment for
But
that.
did
I'm not talking about Wilson getting paid, I was just wondering how Wilson got involved in the first place.
Well, because I'm assuming Wilson would have to, for the repairs being done, he'd have to check on the repairs and make sure they were up to code. So that, which is why.
No.
It sounds like the contractor knew
That's
this,
not
so
why
they
he
called
got-
them as a friend or
The whole
hey,
time-
come take care of this.
Don't that he would expect if you guys would tap it into the sewer main, and he'd expect it to tap. But other than that, the sewer line's all on yours. We wouldn't
Like
expect
a
it.
new tap.
Yeah, if they would do the tap, we would expect it to tap.
Not a new tap.
But I guess if Wilson wouldn't help the first time, they would have had to hire a subcontract to somebody else who would have done it. A, might have done it correctly, or B, they would be liable and they'd be going at them, and the city would have been clear.
And let's be also that the suggestion that we automatically know simply because we had a second event 2 weeks later doesn't automatically mean that the first time it wasn't done properly. Obviously, something is caused this line to plug, and if after the first event you're able to use it for 2 weeks before it clogged again, my understanding, I'm a lawyer, not an engineer, and certainly not a sewer guy, but my understanding was when I called another city was, well, if it was working for any time after the first plug, if it was already plugged the first time, it would have backed up right away. So you wouldn't have been able to use it for 2 weeks before you experienced back up again. The better suggestion was that something in the repair of the first one allowed for infiltration from dirt and clay and whatever else that subsequently then flowed into the line, caused it to plug and back up again, which then had to be repaired. Because if it was not jetting because of the second plug originally, it would not have, you wouldn't have gotten any water through and it would have backed up right away. So just the best scenario, that information I could get was, it was fixed, it was working, the jetting came through, saw clear water, but the repair didn't get done right by the contractor, such that dirt and clay infiltrated the sewer service line again, causing a second backup, which then caused the second plug. That was the best information I could get when I contacted another city about this, because like I said, I'm not an engineer, and so I tried to figure out how the heck did this happen? And that was the scenario that they gave me.
Well, we do have video evidence of the repair being done from inside the pipe, and all looks clear and good to go. So that's out of the window. That the repair that was done was not done correctly.
What's the ask here? What do you want the city to do?
Well, we believe we're not liable for the second repair, so we're asking for the bill to be paid. So the first one we took on ourselves, we get that, but the second one, the city messed up. Sounds like you shouldn't have been there. I don't know why your employees are going out working on private pipes that you're not supposed to. And then,
That's a very good question.
yeah, so I don't know how we're supposed to be held liable for that.
I just don't see how jetting is making you liable though. I mean, it's just jetting. He didn't make any repairs. I don't
Well,
see how that makes him liable.
He was
Well,
clearing the line.
I get that, but I don't see how that makes him liable for the repair.
Because he said the
That's
line
no
was
more
clear.
than
He
a
said the
snake.
line was clear.
Have you talked
It's
to
no
the
more than a snake though.
about this?
Oh, yeah, he's
What-
fully aware.
He agreed, he's inferred with us that it was not, the hydrojetting wasn't done right. And the thing about the
And then he
2
called him back
weeks,
twice.
the thing about the 2 weeks, we're not constantly using water. It takes time for the water to get backed up that far. And it was like 70 feet out away from our house. So I'm not constantly using water. If I'm just flushing a toilet, that's gonna take some time. It doesn't automatically just come out of the drain. It doesn't work like that.
When it
It's gonna
first-
take some time once your drain is totally out of water, if there's a clog 70, 75 feet out of your house.
Was the repair the city's repair?
No.
Then I don't see how the jetting caused any of that.
And from the knowledge I have.
It's no more than somebody coming in and running a snake through your sewer, and then all of a sudden you want them to replace your sewer line. And that's not gonna happen either.
I have about 5 years of experience in sewer and plumbing, and I can tell you that regardless of how much, I understand what you guys are saying, you're frustrated, I completely get it, I'd be mad too. But putting the water down the drain with that clog already there, you wouldn't have made it 2 weeks regardless of how much water you've used. That's in my opinion. Like, I do have experience in it. I've done it for Jackson County before I got promoted, so, it sounds to me like it's a contractor problem.
Yeah,
It really does,
yeah.
because being in a situation like that, I've had to, on my job, go out and redo a job because of that problem. Regardless, you're still gonna use enough water to notice a clog within 2 weeks, in my opinion.
Does the contractor not carry liability of work comp, or do you know?
Talk to him.
Yeah, we just have to talk to him.
But he should, because he got a business license.
Sure.
In order to get a business license, you
Okay.
gotta have insurance.
So I'm curious, why he couldn't diagnose that it was a clog and not a break in the first place? Like, how did he not know?
As far as the second time?
Yeah, the second time, because, if it was a clog, that seems like it'd be pretty obvious versus a break. Did they not have ultrasound equipment or something that?
They do.
Because
Well,
he's digging up everything again to fix it, and he's gonna charge you another $9,000. I'm not trying to insinuate that he did this on purpose, but why didn't he diagnose it further before he dug up the street?
Well, we had a separate plumbing company come out, which they had the ability to snake and put a camera scope down the line. And they were going at it for an hour and a half or whatever, and couldn't move through anything. All the debris, clay and dirt in there. And then they tried scoping it, but you can't really see much. There's still a little bit of water in there too.
So once the contractor went down, did he tear up the pipe and replace it or how did you get the main, was it the hydro jetting that cleared the main, or what?
So they had the scope, which you can detect, which I would assume would be LiDAR, above ground. They identified the spot, and it was in the street, and then he dug up the street, and then saw the pipe was still intact, and then he's just, cutting off just little sections at a time, seeing what's clogging it and whatnot. So there was nothing, there was no break in it, but yeah, and then cut off a section of the pipe, and then we hydrojetted the line out front to the main, and then we also got video evidence of, all the lines being clear, so.
If I ask the board, is there any action that you want to take this time? Thank you.
Sorry, did you?
Well, I mean, is there anything we can offer as something, something? I mean, I kind of see both ways. I see where we're not exactly responsible, but I also see where we touched it, and it could be up for debate. That's just, they're my ward, and I want to advocate.
The break,
Regardless if it's in your ward or not, that doesn't matter to this board.
the break in the street.
Whether it's in your ward, my ward, or whatever.
That wasn't our either, even in the street?
All the
I
time.
don't.
No, I
see
know.
The city's only responsible for the main only, from the tap of the main to the house as the homeowner's responsibility. Unfortunately, the sewer line runs under the road on the other side. And that's what they had to do, so we
Wow.
can't break it up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, they.
Okay, that's an unusual circumstance.
Yeah, the city
Very,
is
very
only responsible for
not
the main.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
It's only responsible for our main. Like I said, from the tap to the house is their responsibility.
That's an unusual circumstance.
To Mr. Cole's question, I understand, and I don't totally disagree, but we will be establishing precedent if we were to do anything in this case. And
They're saying it is.
they're
But it's not.
very through on that, in future situation now. With the education of Mr. Jones, I'd like to believe that we wouldn't see this situation again, but
We will not.
And the reason, the reason why our contractor felt it was fine is Mr. Jones, he assured us several times it was cleared that first time. He assured us like over and over again, even with JD that came out, once it backed up again for a second time, they both came out and he even said, there's no way it's clogged. There's no way there's anything in that pipe. He told us that point blank to our face.
It was clear when we were out there, and that was prior to the 2 weeks it took off.
What size is that line?
That's why they ripped up the street. It wouldn't have been ripped up if we had known it was something like that. I mean, he told us point blank several times.
Yeah, most main.
Water can still pass by, but it still has a temporary clog or whatever. It'd be very difficult to tell how many gallons are running out of the jetter that comes out the other side of what you saw. But I'm not a plumber either.
Well, who made the decision to cut up the street if you're saying it wasn't there?
who was the contractor?
Well, see that?
The contractor came in, asked for a street cut, and they paid the.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it seems like it falls on them.
Yeah.
Not the city.
Well, all evidence from all the experts, it all came to a circle that there had to be a break because Wilson's saying there's no way it's clogged. I hydrojetted all the way to the main, there's no way. It's not clogged, okay? That's what he said to us straight to our face a few times. And then we have somebody come out from another company to try to snake it and scope it. They can't get through, they're gonna get stuck. He's like, if I keep going, there's no way I can get through this. So it has to, he's like, if he's saying it's hydrojetted and it's clean, then he's like, it must be another break, because I can't get through.
But I didn't think. you-
And it wasn't.
We've indulged this to about 15 minutes. The
I've been
board-
going through it for a month or two, and I'm pregnant, and it's not been fun.
As there is no motion to move forward, so I think as we heard, you may want to go back and talk to the contractor and see what you can work with them, but this time the city is not taking action regarding this. Thank you. Next up, bill number 2305, an ordinance number 1081, an ordinance to amend the zoning code of the city of Butler.
Bill number 2305 is an ordinance to amend the zoning code of the city of Butler. The ordinance 1081. Second reading of bill number 2305.
This is the first reading, isn't it?
Well, I thought we had first reading, March. Oh, sorry, first reading, March 2. Sorry, I was 2 weeks ahead. First reading.
All right, and as you recall, last time we were going to read this over 2 periods just to make sure there was no issues with the public from the standpoint because we do have a member of our planning and zoning board that's affected by this, and we don't want it to have any appearance of insider dealing or other issues. So, do we need a motion to approve on that? No, so just
For first reading.
yeah. Okay.
Motion to approve first reading.
Okay. Is there a second?
Okay.
You don't need to for first reading.
Okay, so
All in favor? Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, in 2 weeks we'll do the second reading and move forward. Okay, next up, consideration and possible action regarding a contract with Bartlett and West for design services for the spray pad at the park. You can see the kind of their spec sheet. Is this what we'll be meeting about tomorrow, or is that?
No, that's all it is.
Okay. There's, that's definitely pricey. But I'm gonna guess that's probably gonna end up being about 10% of the project cost.
There's one thing to point out, that phase 4, that says construction phase 3,500, that's not guaranteed. I mean, if we don't use that money, we won't use that money. That's just in case something goes on that we need additional help with.
But that's just like if we choose another vendor,
Yeah.
it'll be the construction, that will be the design, the design interface
Yeah.
with the construction.
Yeah, that's if needed.
$42,000 for design.
But it's gonna be total 50, because you gotta add in the 6 and 4. Right.
Because they will be doing the project management on the, so.
Sorry, I was gonna say, did the park board, they have time to review this or have any thoughts on this?
Well, since there was only one person to say they would do design, I guess that's our only option. We would have liked to see more, companies, their bids, but that's all we got. So at this point, I guess we'll have to move forward with this.
Are you happy with working with Bartlett and West? Have you guys?
As far as the company goes, yes, they're a big company. Yeah, the price, it's a little steep, but
A little bit.
But we don't have anything compared to.
So are we just looking at making the motion to approve it?
To approve for the park board to move forward.
So moved.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like we're one step closer to a spring park. Discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding approval of Joe's Old Fashioned Fun LLC. This is the amusement, or not amusement park, the carnival for the fall festival.
Did we use them last year?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know if Ms. Couch wants to speak, but I know that we got good feedback or everything I heard was solid.
Yeah, I feel like they were really good. They were clean. They hired in town. We had a really great experience with them. That's why we wanted to go with them again this year. Plus, they aren't charging us any more than they did last year.
And are they doing wristbands this year too?
I believe so.
yes, we talked about it. You said they were.
Make a motion that we approve this for the contract for Joe's Old Fashioned Carnival.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move the amendment agenda.
There's a motion to amend the agenda to discuss the fireworks for the
Second that motion.
We did get the proposal, and as you may recall, last year we did a multi-year agreement to get the reduced price. That was a question I did have on here because they have the dates with different pricing, but didn't we lock in last year? Wouldn't that have locked in what our price is for this year?
Wait, you talking about the second sheet?
Yeah, where it has option 1, option 2, option 3.
Yeah, that
and
is
it's
not
a-
a discount, remember, that's, you get 5% more fireworks, or 5% more if you sign by those different dates.
Right, but, yeah, as I say, but last year we got like 2,000 or whatever it was,
Yeah.
shots. And
Yeah, extra, something like that, yeah.
so right now then, if we do this now, we'd be, can we see about picking up the, I guess, the March 1st,
Yeah.
10% bonus?
I can call them and see, hey, you're only 2 days out, we can get you a check.
But I thought there was some kind of pricing lock-in that we got last
Yeah,
year.
we locked it at $6,000. And then, depending on what, when we sign the contract, we get like 8% more
Okay.
shots, not discount off the price. Just you get more shots for the same price of $6,000.
A motion to approve the, well, before I do that, I'm sorry. How's our funds looking?
Yeah, yeah. Right now, the general fund has got $107,000. So, yeah, I think.
Didn't we discuss what fund this was gonna come out of? It wasn't gonna be the general fund
Well,
this year?
but it is because that's what we agreed to for 3 years.
For 3 years, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Right now, that I know that, I jumped ahead of myself, I apologize.
Your intuition was good.
I'll make the motion to approve the contract and see if we can get option 3.
Okay, I'll
second it.
finish one.
Any other discussion? I'm sorry.
I think.
Oh, okay. Is that going to be any other discussion? Oh, no, now we're for all in favor. All right.
You seconded it twice.
That's okay. Is there any opposed? So we're losing control. If we ever had. Okay, so it looks like we're good on fireworks and we're good on the festival. So good time will be had by all.
We didn't hear from the chief.
Is he on?
No, that's not.
Okay, so next up is recess to executive session. Mr. Meyer, do you read that? I read that.
Doesn't matter. We need a motion to go into executive closed session for the mayor and board of Aldermen to conduct an executive session pursuant to Missouri Revised Statute 610.021, subsections 1 and 2, to discuss litigation and personnel.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, reconvene. Elected officials comments. Mr. Butts.
I actually want to give props to the police department. There's been a new trend going around town that that the community's getting involved in with this doll that we place at different areas in town. And I just want to give thank you to you guys for participating in that. I thought that was a very creative way to engage the police department in a community activity.
Okay.
So thank you guys.
I'd
Thank you.
forgotten that it was going around and forgotten all about it.
And also JD street signs are looking good.
So did the doll escape? Because last I saw, the doll was locked up behind bars.
The doll did escape.
Okay.
The doll is going to go to the spa this weekend and then she'll be relocated.
Okay, all right. Last I saw, the doll was locked up. I didn't know if, Judge let her
She's up
go.
on the library.
Yeah. Get her out of the library.
Well, thank you to everyone for your time tonight. I know it took a little longer, but I think it was necessary for the city's business. So thank you for your commitment to time and energy. And if there's nothing else, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Stand adjourned, and thank you.